2024 was a big year, from deep creek crossings to the vast open Outback. We learnt a lot this year, and every ride provided many lessons. These are some of my highlights and takeaways from each ride, plus what's coming in 2025. Our first trip provided two very valuable adventure riding lessons. The first one was the value of reading contour lines on a map.
Here where we're going, and I'm not asking, I'll just go where you're going.
Our first ride of the year had us heading into the Blue Mountains to find a lost city.
Can't be too lost if there's signs pointing at it.
The guys talking about this track didn't mention anything challenging.
Whoa.
That's serious.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. That's not what I expected.
Do it on the back wheel only.
It's a different geology this side.
The geologist is telling us. No good,
there.
good.
Turns out there are two tracks that are going to this location. One is an easy one and the other not so much.
It needs water. Is that the reason why there's a dam?
Maybe.
Maybe because it's goddamn hot.
Okay, thanks for...
I think you're damn right.
Did I mention the 91% humidity?
It's actually quite refreshing.
It came down quick and it came down hard. The second lesson was always, regardless of weather reports, time of year, or how you felt when you left home, carry warm gear, even in summer, because the weather can shift pretty quickly. It's now Chris's turn to join the fun, and she took to it pretty confidently.
Need to be confident that that'll do.
We started doing a few practice runs in Arcadia, where Chris learnt the inevitable first lesson of adventure riding.
Wait, can I just try and do this? So if I go lift, do you reckon, would you go with this? I want to try.
Yeah.
So if I go like this, I'll struggle with that. I can't do that.
Yeah,
So
that's really hard.
My big lesson here was being in the headspace of someone who was just beginning and remembering how overwhelming and challenging it is. Oh, and that's the other good lesson, crash bars. Now you can crash.
yeah.
Now it was time to try some overnight moto camping on the Colo River.
All good?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is good, yeah?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I'm just slow. Sorry.
No. I just want to make sure you're okay.
No, I'm fine.
I want to make sure you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah. No, I'm enjoying myself, but I'm unco at the moment.
That's okay. Just remember, keep looking up ahead.
Yeah.
Slow, but keep that momentum going.
Yes.
And just look for, people can be coming the other way, so just be ready
Just
for
be
that.
mindful. Yeah, that's cool.
But
yeah.
they'll see me first, so.
Yeah, cool. No, that's all right. It's fun.
All right.
Then Chris learnt the lesson of target fixation, lean angle, gearing, and whiskey throttle all in one move. Talk about multitasking.
Ow.
What are you doing?
Can't park there.
Most important thing that we always establish in these situations was the GoPro running.
Oh, was it?
And yes, it was, but it's pointed upwards a little bit.
Oh.
That was so hard. You're lucky I'm immensely muscular, man.
Next, it was time to formalise some of this learning and take her on her first tour. Alex and the crew invited me along to capture the event, which was also a perfect opportunity for Chris to refine her skills and get some solid seat time.
How you on? These are all the little things that will make it easier. Yeah.
It's frustrating,
Yeah.
but it's what I need. Yep. Head up. That's it. Thank you.
Hey. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Good, isn't it?
Summer was then over and it was moto camping season and we're hunting campsites. Specifically, we're looking for ones that we hadn't been to before and we inadvertently found ourselves on the steepest tracks in New South Wales.
Range Fire Trail.
Abercrombie National Park is just a few kilometres south of Oberon, and I'm still unsure if it was a good idea to look at the contour lines before this trip, setting a waypoint called Steep AF. Maybe ignorance was bliss.
Send Gary up first.
Yeah,
Because if he goes first, you'll go, oh, that looks easy. And he's got the lightest bike and he's the best rider. So
yeah, that makes sense actually.
when we get to the front, Gary, we're sending you in.
Two lessons of steep hills. One, momentum is king.
Right. Now, I'm looking straight ahead, going, okay, well there's plenty of room. I've got a nice gradual slope on the other side.
Chris Birch puts it nicely. Treat momentum like cash. Save it when you can. Hold on to it when things get tough and spend it when you're feeling down. Or maybe that's not it. I don't know. Something like that. Isn't this where we would have discussed whether to continue or not? At this point, if Gary hadn't already pushed on down, I probably would have turned back.
Would you go right or left? Yeah? A lot more rocks on the right side. No, I'm using the clutch as a rear brake. Yeah, I'm just trying to get back up onto here. Oh shit. I just got a message back from Chris. Because I said, far out, that was hard. Could you message? and Chris replied, do you need me to show you how it's done?
Where you ideally wanted to ride was very slick, like very silty, and your front brake was locking. Like the rut that you could ride down, there was all cobbles and shit. That's where I went. It was like, what, I go here?
Yeah.
Fucking suddenly this is stand on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, the silt makes it slippy.
Right, got the brake.
That, yeah.
Now, just look down. Don't worry about it.
Is it momentum or is it confidence is king? Because while Chris Birch has a lot of good advice, this lesson would come from Disney. Sometimes you just need to let it go, let it go.
It's locking up as well. And not only the wheel, like you're on rocks that are all sliding.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're moving. They're not just there and you're sliding off them. They're going down.
They're going with you.
Yeah.
And just when we thought we'd completed the hard part, one more lesson came crashing down. Ensure your bike doesn't get in the way of the basics like selecting a gear in a critical moment. Yeah, the grip spun around and I couldn't pull the clutch in.
Yeah.
And so it just stalled and I just dropped it.
Just here over the whoopsie.
I came over that and went to grab first as coming out the other side of it. But that's the thing, it was right as soon as I did it. As soon as I let go and just let go, it was fine.
Yeah, you just straight down there without a problem.
Yeah. And the same with going up that hill. And once we picked it up and then I spent half an hour catching my breath. Then when I sat back on the bike and started it up, I was like, my brain was just going, fuck it, no, just go to sleep. Just fall over and go to sleep.
I need to reset.
Just get out. There was even more shifting in the garage this year. The MT-09 that started this channel had laid dormant for too long and it was time to say goodbye. In the last 2 years I've done less than 1,000 kilometres on it. And it's got, 47,215 kilometres on it now. And I reckon it was on 46,000 2 years ago.
Gonna miss it?
Yes. Very much so. And then it was my son Lachlan's turn to join in the fun and he got his licence. However, he would eventually learn some lessons this year, unfortunately the hard way. Thing is, on a bike, that's typical.
It's common.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
And so you've got to be ready for it. Well, sometimes I find just giving it a quick rev on the throttle is better than hitting the horn.
Yeah.
Because it can be just as loud.
Yeah.
And
Sounds cool.
and it sounds more angry than beep beep.
Yeah. Like, and then I just got my footing wrong and then just...
Yep. And then as soon as you get a certain amount of lean angle, that's it.
Yeah.
But you did the right thing. As soon as you know it's dropping, just walk off it. And I really enjoy going to cafes, so it felt only natural to buy a BMW GS. Took me forever to find the indicators. Right. This bike was perfect for the next big ride coming up. The 2024 Aussie Bike or Hike Sydney to Gold Coast ride is on again. This ride was so enjoyable last year, why not do it again? However, the weather would play a bigger part in this year's ride, and it felt like this was the start of never-ending rain. Well, I'm sliding. While this was one of the most challenging parts of the tour, most saw it as the event's highlight as everyone helped get the bikes across. Whoa! Jesus Christ! And what goes up must come down, and the goal here was to get from the Gold Coast back to Sydney, avoiding the freeways and discovering as many great roads as possible and places to visit along the way. I'm starting off
double rainbow. There you go. Is the rainbow a sign? Yes, it is. It means it's gonna rain.
I got to tick off a bunch of great roads. However, there are things that you can control and things that you can't that contribute to enjoying the ride. One of those lessons from this one was to let go of the things you can't change, like the weather. You plan a ride and the weather will do whatever the weather will do. We live in its world, so you either adapt to it or you miss out. The second lesson was my daily kilometre limit. Everyone's number will differ, but 400 kilometres turned out to be a good number for my riding. Then it was time for the big one. 47.9 years of age, I've got a very un-Australian confession to make. I have never been to the Outback. Some people do adventure riding to find the meaning of life, and for me it's finding moments that you'll remember forever, and this trip had a few of those moments. It was exceptional, but it wasn't without its challenges. Starting and ending in Broken Hill, this was a highlight package of the Outback, the Flinders Ranges, Birdsville, Inaminka, 3 states and 1 giant ride.
How beautiful is this?
So good.
It was also one of the most difficult moments I've had adventure riding. The confrontation with reality and then riding the last part of the Birdsville track in the dark, not gonna lie, it was a little terrifying. But that's the thing about adventure riding, the more challenging it is, the deeper the joy it gives us.
Never been so glad to see a speed limit sign. Oh my god, is that a sealed road? Is that a sealed road?
I went into this ride wanting to understand why people are so drawn to the Outback, and now having done it myself, the only real conclusion is that I still don't really know, but I can't wait to get back there again next year.
Birdsville Development Road. Follow this for a few hundred kilometres. There really is not much to it.
At Batuta, we're refueling, stocking up on fuel because there is nothing between there and Inaminka.
Not used to doing it.
No, well, I've never done sand like this.
Yeah, right, okay. Well,
first.
That's a hell of an education.
Yeah.
Basically, where we are in Inaminka, the Strzelecki track is the only way out. It's the only thing that is open.
Hello, Vern.
Next was another weekend tour with Aussie Biker Hike, and this time Lachlan was joining for his first tour.
How'd you go, Loch?
Yeah, good.
Had fun?
Yeah.
He started with a reasonably cautious pace, but cranked it up a little bit after the break, resulting in a break.
Not good, is that?
It's Lockie.
He sat out the rest of the ride and the rest of the year. When the surgeon got excited by the x-rays, we knew he'd done a pretty good job of it. Even the Tech 7 boots, with the impact on the heel, kept him off the bike and out of work for 8 weeks. He's decided to focus on his work for a while since any more time off would be too risky. So if you know anyone who wants to buy a Tenere 660, let me know. This ride would be my first time in the Barrington Tops, and I can't wait to explore there again soon. As the weather started to warm up, we made it rain again with a moto camping trip to Mile Lakes. It was another fun ride with the guys, and I got to practice changing tyres a little more than I expected.
I find it goes better with some nice words, like, "Ooh, baby."
It's all dirty to it.
Not one but two tyre changes put us well behind. And of course, the other lesson here was that if you've got a flat tyre, there's probably a good reason for it, and you should find that reason before a perfectly good tube only lasts a few hundred metres. Sorry, Gary, I still owe you a tube.
That's... Surprised it lasted that long.
Far out.
Holy shitballs.
Oh, now you can see it.
Oh, there it goes.
But yeah, it's so hard to spot from the outside.
Wow.
Just watching Gary trying to get off his motorcycle.
This ride was the perfect demonstration that time spent on a ride is less defined by the pace that you're travelling and more on how often you stop. As the sun set, I saw something I'd never experienced before.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Fireflies.
I've never seen them before.
Neither have I.
The year's final trip was a lesson in biting off more than you can chew, and more specifically, knowing the limits of your least experienced rider. Luckily, I'm married to her, otherwise I'd get a bad review.
But I think in hindsight, this was too much too soon. When you've officially met that point where you say, get me the fuck out of here, and when the hell is this going to be over, you have officially become an adventure rider.
Oh, mate.
The 2025 is going to be a big year. We're going back to the Outback, taking on the Flinders Ranges. Chris is joining me for the Sydney to the Gold Coast and then our trip back. And we've got a few other key rides in the works at the moment, heading towards the Alpine country. We've also got a couple of new video formats coming out next year, which we're very excited about, so look out for those. But I want to say a big thank you for anyone who tuned in during the year. Big thanks to those who joined as members. Anyone who bought anything from our adventure riding merch store or supported us in any way. It goes straight back into bringing more adventures to this channel. A shout out to John at Shark Levers for their support, and it's been a lot of fun partnering with Alex and everyone at Aussie Bike or Hike. They've got a lot of exciting rides next year, so make sure you check out their website. I hope you all have an amazing break, and as always, stay safe and have fun.